10th of September 2010, Wembley Stadium. Muse, supported by Lily Allen, The Big Pink, and White Rabbits. On a scale of 1 to 10, my anticipation for this gig was, well, it wasn't as high as it was for the 11th because I went both nights, but it was still right up there. I mean, I only got a ticket for this gig last minute. I had a spare ticket for the 11th, and I swapped it for a ticket for the 10th, rather because I had absolutely no one to take. So I went by myself. I met people second. Anyway, so I wanted to be right at the front, so I got there really early. I got there about on the Friday. I got there about 10:30, and there were probably about 50 people there when I got there, and there were sort of like zones, sort of split. Everybody was sort of split off, and there were zones for each person, like each group. People were moving in that one, and blah blah blah, blah. And I was right in the front, right in the front zone. And I was sort of sat around for a couple of hours. And I got lucky because somebody wanted to swap their ticket for a ticket, because there were 4 different gates. There was GNF, there was M&N, there was B and C, and I cannot remember the other one. K&J, maybe. But yeah, there were different gates. It wasn't K&J, it was H&J or something. It wasn't K&J, H&J. But that's not important. Anyway, I was lucky because somebody wanted to swap tickets for a GNF and for an M&N. And M&N is a lot closer to the stage. As you come in the stage, you've got that's a stage. You have entrance there. That's GNF. I don't know what the next entrance was. GNF. But M&M was there. Sort of there to the stage. So as you come in M&M, stage, you turn left, and the stage is literally right there. So it's closest entrance to the stage. So we're coming. I swapped the ticket. Got close to the stage. Met a few people in the process, and but long story short, I got barrier. Got on the barrier. Bingo, straight in on the barrier. About halfway back, right by the platform lift, which was sort of in the middle of the walkway. Stage I'd seen a lot of pictures of, and I think it looked a lot better in person, because whenever I'd seen videos of it and photos of it, I felt like it looked kind of tacky. But in person, the stage just looked brilliant. It looked absolutely phenomenal, and I just sort of we've stood around for a while. The first spot act probably came on about 6ish. We got into the stadium about 4:30, and 6ish White Rabbits won, and they were quite good. I was a fan of White Rabbits. I liked what I saw. They were good. I'd give them a good 6-7 out of 10. I mean, like, obviously I didn't know them going in, but they performed pretty well. The Big Pink won second, and they got no crowd reaction. I don't think they were bad live. I just don't think that they interacted with Muse fans particularly well. There's been talk about them having said stuff about Muse fans in the past, and how he was quoted as saying that Muse fans are ugly or something. The lead singer from Big Pink was quoted as saying Muse fans are ugly or something. I don't know, but I knew the Big Pink going into this because I'd seen them support Muse before, and I'm a fair fan of the Big Pink. I think they make some very good music. They might not be the best band in the world, but they do make good music, and I appreciate appreciate them as a band. I wouldn't buy a ticket to go to one of their concerts, but wherever will be. And they weren't bad. They were pretty good. They were pretty good. I knew most of the songs, which is always a bonus, and they played pretty well. They didn't sound off. They sounded all right. They sounded good, clean. Didn't get a reaction, but they sounded good, and I was happy with the performance. So I'd probably give them a 7 out of 10 as well. And then the main sport, because there was so much talk about this, Lily Allen. She's pregnant. She was pregnant. So there was a lot of talk of her pulling out. I don't know how far along she was, but there was about 6 months, or maybe a bit more, a bit further along. But she was pregnant, and well, that's not cool. But there was a lot of stuff said about Lily Allen when she was announced as a support act. A lot of people weren't very happy about it. There was talk about her getting piss bottled and everything. I knew the second that I found out she was pregnant that if she was going to be pregnant at that age, she would not get piss bottled. I didn't think she would get piss bottled anyway. I wasn't 100% convinced. I knew there would be some fans that weren't very happy. But when she took to the stage, in all honesty, in my opinion, I think she gave a good performance. She gave a good account of herself. I'm not necessarily a big fan of her as a person or her as a musician, but she gave a good account of herself. She got the crowd going, which was good. She got the best reaction of all the support acts. And whilst she might not be the most Muse friendly of the 3 support acts, she definitely did her job. She got the crowd ready. She got the crowd sort of pumped a bit. And there you go. And then on came about quarter to 9. Yeah, quarter to 9. On came Muse. The first part of the concert, they had the protesters intro, where they had all the protesters come out, and it looked so much better in person. I'd seen it on videos, and it looked really cool. But when they came out, and sort of the atmosphere, it was dark by the time they came out. It was pitch black, and the red light and the smoke, and it all just added to the atmosphere. I think it was better the first time round because it was the first time seeing it. I think that in that way the first night was better with the intro because it worked more effectively if you've only seen it once, in my opinion. But they came out Uprising solid, Supermassive Black Hole solid, Newborn is a bit flat. But they came out. They seemed up for it. They didn't. I'd seen them at the O2 a couple of years before. No, last year. Sorry, a couple months before. At the end of last year in November, and they just didn't. It was a few days before they actually announced the Wembley date, and they didn't really seem at the races. I don't know whether there was a sound problem, but they didn't sound very good. They didn't seem up for it. It just sort of seemed like another gig. But there you go. Then I must admit that I started laughing when they played this. But Neutron Star Collision, the song that nobody on the forums predicted. I said Neutron Star Collision and I Belong to You would get played, and everybody said no, they've jumped on Neutron Star Collision. It won't get played. They won't play Neutron Star Collision. It's a boring single. Nobody likes it. It's not going to get played. Come on, it's Muse. And I like it. I don't think there are any new songs they played on either night that I don't like. I would have liked to have had at least Bliss on the first night as opposed to the second, and had Citizen Erased on the second night, and maybe had something different there. But we got NSC, better than nothing. And as the gig went on, we got Butterflies and Hurricanes. Hysteria was solid. Pissed Off by Feeling Good. I Belong to You. Oh, it was brilliant. I really liked I Belong to You. It's one of those songs that I think most Muse fans either love it or they hate it. I like it. I really like I Belong to You. I think it's really a fun sort of upbeat song. I think it's the funnest song Muse have ever written. It's a really good piano song. It's solid. It does something different, and it's got really upbeat tempo, and it's just listening to it makes me smile. Do you know what I mean? It's a really good song, in my opinion. And it carried on. It got a bit boring. Undisclosed Desires, which I actually like, and the platform sort of adds to it and everything. MK Jam, Resistance, throw away. Same with Starlight. Time is running out. I'm not really a fan of, but Unnatural Selection, the second that came on, I went mental. I absolutely went fucking mental. I absolutely adore Unnatural Selection. It's one of my favorite. It's my second favorite song of the Resistance, and I prefer it to Newborn. I prefer. There was a thread on the forums, and I remember thinking after I'd heard them both live that I'd liked Newborn more before, but I think that Unnatural Selection's riff is more powerful. I think live it sounds better. And that's not just because Matt doesn't play the keyboard intro anymore, because he doesn't play the little intro bit at the start, which kind of upsets me, but there's not a lot you can do about that. And the night went, they went off after Unnatural Selection, which was probably their second best song of the night, which I love Unnatural Selection. I really mocked out for that. I really cheered for that. They came back, played Soldier's Poem, which was not quite nice to see. I said I thought if they were going to play one of the acoustic songs, I'd rather have seen Soldier's Poem than Unintended. And I think Soldier's Poem because it's shorter, so you don't have to, the pain doesn't have to last as long. So, but then they had Exogenesis, which sounded good. As good as it could. I'm not really a huge fan of the symphony, but they had that. They had the UFO come out, and that was neat. And they had the alien come out of it, which was pretty cool as well. And as the night drew on, Stockholm Syndrome, fucking amazing, fucking epic. Stockholm Syndrome, just amazing. Then they came back. They went off, came back for a second encore. Take a Bow in the LED light up suit. Christmas Matt, as he's affectionately known. Take a Bow, which is another one of my favourite Muse songs, which was really great to hear live. Really sounds it fits the stadium perfectly. The reason he brought it back was because he likes playing it in a stadium, and I cannot argue the fact that it sounds good in the stadium. Plug In Baby, which is it was one of everybody's favourite Muse songs. Nobody dislikes Plug In Baby. It's just one of those songs you can't not like. Then they close with Nights. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Nights. It's powerful live. It does its job. As a closer, I think I'd rather see Stockholm Syndrome, swap it with Stockholm Syndrome. Have Nights come on after the overture, and then have Stockholm Syndrome close, which I thought would have been quite nice. But I knew that wasn't going to come, that wasn't going to happen. Nights closed the show. Big sort of, not pyro, big sort of CO2 thing. It was great. All round, it was a fantastic show. I don't care what people say. It wasn't as good as the second night, which I will probably talk about if I put this video up. I will talk about at a later date. But the first night was absolutely fantastic. I enjoyed myself. It wasn't my first Muse gig, obviously, so you can't say that. And it was better than my first. I enjoyed myself. I had a great night. I was chuffed to pieces with what I got. I belong to you, Neutron Star Collision, Butterflies and Hurricanes, Soldier's Poem. Other than Soldier's Poem, all songs I really wanted to hear live. And of course, I also got that, and it's signed by Chris Wolstenholme. I didn't write tune on it, that was already there. But yeah, I got myself a set list. That's how win that gig was. So yeah, all round a great show. You can't argue. I can't argue that Muse don't put on a great show. They might not be the best band in the world, but well, they are the best band in the world, and this is why.